Matt Christman sold over $46,000 his very first 30 days as a life insurance telesales agent. And not only did he do that, but 2 months later, he actually nets and deposits to over $20,000 into his account. And not only did he do that full time, he actually did that part time while working a different business. In this episode, we're going to be talking and breaking down how he's been able to see so much success in less than 90 days. So Matt, welcome to the channel, man.
Glad to be here, man. Thanks for having me.
Yes, sir. Well, dude, it's cool to see your progression. It's like, it's one thing to be able to make money yourself, but then to see somebody come in, implement, take immediate and massive action, and then see results pretty quickly is really cool, right? So talk about, I want to bring us back a little bit, right? How did you even get into the life insurance space?
So, got into the life insurance space. I actually went back because it was actually 2008. It was with a very captive like IMO selling term only. If that tells you anything. Invest the difference.
Yep.
Anyways, I had no idea. I had, I didn't know too much about it. I took my license, took my exam, got the license, and never really got any footing with that. And after that, I was in for a few months. Then after that, I jetted. I was like, I don't like this. The whole recruit your family, friends type thing. It's just, I
Yeah.
was like, I wasn't feeling it. So,
Yeah.
and then fast forward, what, shoo, over, over a decade now. I got one of my friends, a good friend of mine. He wanted to start his own little brokerage, and so he wanted me to come on board. And I was like, man, I don't know. I got my other business on the other side that I've grown for 6 years now, and
Yeah.
I was like, I just rather stick to this. But you kind of show me the different opportunities and different things that the
Hmm.
difference between when I first started in '08 to what it is now today. And I was like, okay. I'll uh, I was like, I'll give it a shot and kind of see what's up. And
Yep.
um, so I got licensed early. Took me a while to get licensed because I just was doing the pre testing courses and all that. I was just really dragging my feet on that because
Yep.
I wasn't really that much of in a rush. But fast forward to earlier this year, I got licensed in February, end of February, March, give or take. Um, didn't really get started. I was just trying to learn the different scripts or
Yeah.
how to go about. I think we start off with selling mortgage protection, which I had no idea what that was. I was
Yeah.
just trying to shadow my friend, and he's a smart guy, but he's not like the actual like best leader, if you will. Like it's like
Yeah.
he's almost like, here, do this, and then do the same. And it's like that doesn't really tell me anything. You're not really showing me. You're just
Hmm.
telling me to watch certain things, and I just don't learn that way. More like a hands-on type, you know, type person when it comes to
Yeah.
learning different things like that. I just need to be coached, and he
Yep.
wasn't very good at coaching someone. He's more of,
Hmm.
do this and see if it works for you type thing. And that didn't
Hmm.
really help me. And so I kind of was in limbo, didn't know what to do. So he stopped. Okay, well, since you're not doing good in mortgage protection or not really finding any footing there, let's sell veterans final expense, which was another nightmare. So we got like
Did you
he
buy
named me.
leads? Did you buy leads
Yeah,
at
I
that
bought.
time, or what'd you do?
Well, he's like, hey, I bought leads for $2 of lead. So I bought like a hundred, and they're all aged
Yeah.
leads, right? And it was just like leads from like 2 to 3, 4 years ago, and I was like, it was like being like a dead end, and I was like, dude, I can't.
Yep.
I was like, I can't do this, and so being frustrated, I didn't even know how to write an app, so I didn't even learn that. I just kind of was trying to learn. He was like showing
Yeah.
me stuff on paper, and I was just like, dude, like insurance toolkits. I didn't know what that was, and anyways, and so after a while, I just kind of got discouraged. I wasn't seeing any progress. I wasn't making any money. I was losing money. But thank
Yeah.
God I have, my other job that I do, my therapy business, and that was keeping everything fine. But still not
Yep.
cool to burn through money. Might as well just set it on fire. You get the same result. Is what I was feeling like.
Right.
So I
Yeah.
kind of like laid low and kind of just kind of not lose contact with him, but I kind of just was distancing myself a little bit from him. And then lo and behold, here I am on Instagram scrolling through, and then I'm seeing your beautiful face talking about, are you a final expense agent? And I'm like, yes, I am actually. Actually trying to be. And
Yeah.
saw your videos and kind of did some research. And then came across David Duford, I
Yeah.
believe. That I saw you like at one of his, I don't know if it's like a seminar or thing on a weekend, and I saw you were speaking. And I was like, all right, kind of telling your story and how
Hmm.
you, were able to, create, because you're kind of the same thing. You got tired of buying leads and like burn,
Yeah.
a hole in your wallet and just with nothing. You're making money, but it's all going back towards what you spend it on.
Yeah.
It's just like you can't get above water. So, and I could relate to you, and I saw that you were able to get out of the hole, and I kind of was just like, I was like, so I just reached out to you, and that's kind of when you kind of showed me the light, if you will.
Hmm. Yeah, you have an interesting story, man, because obviously you had previous experiences with recruiting based models, right? Like these MLMs or just agencies that are like so focused on recruiting because they don't
Hmm.
really care about you necessarily. They're like, hey, you're probably stats show that you're probably going to fail out of the business, so let me see who you know. Let me get your 100, like power list of 100, right? And bring them
Right.
in, and then hopefully one person out of the 106 or whatever it is. And it's honestly just a really tough model to actually win in and succeed. And yeah, there's people that are making it, but few people do it because one, it's just the stories that you hear are so crazy that it's not even like it's really tough for people to actually do that now in this day and
Yeah.
age, right? So
Hmm.
so you okay, so you do that, you try different things, but you don't give up. You and I start working together, right? You come in, and I remember like, I mean, you on our onboarding call were like, dude, I don't know how to write an application, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
What gave you confidence, even though you never wrote an application, to be like, you know what, I still need to, even though I'm down in the hole, I haven't sold a policy yet, I need to invest in myself, get around the, like, get the skill sets. Like, what was going through your mind that made you want to do that or feel like you needed to do that in that time?
And that time, I'm more like I'm pretty big on finish what you started in the sense, I was
Yeah.
like, I'm not gonna stop this just because I failed. I was like, how many successful people failed? And
Yeah.
so you just gotta dust yourself up and keep on going. And so, you know, by in doing so, I just, it's almost like drawing a line in the sand. And it's like, okay, I refuse to let this define me as an insurance, agent. I'm not gonna let
Mm-hmm.
a bad experience, overwhelm, my confidence or, or discourage me from succeeding. And so that's what kind of led me to, you know, where I am with you guys in the community. So that's what kind of got me to almost like enough's enough. I'm gonna make it happen for myself, create another stream of income for myself and for me, my wife, and family to be able to take a little bit more time off work for my my main business and be able to
Yeah.
spend more time here at home. So yeah, that's several driving factors that kind of led me to
Yeah.
not quitting.
Well, dude.
One of them is finishing what I started.
Yeah. Well, dude, you've been a hyper implementer from the very get go, right? You come on board, you get onboarded, you do everything right away. You start going through your script right away. You get it memorized. You're on the calls. You're going through these. Your objection handling well on the front end. Your tonality's on point. Um, very like hyper implementer, right? So a few like weeks later, all of a sudden I look in Slack and I see two policies, $18,000 a day from these. Well, how'd you end up closing IULs on the final expense, like leads that you're generating? Talk about that a little bit.
So, doing running the Facebook ads with Elijah and you guys, it's been
Yeah.
great. Um, um, It was by a sheer luck and accident. So it was someone who saw an ad, just saw life insurance, and you see all these ads from different, I see on my timeline and Facebook like IULs, final expense. I always see those because it's in that realm.
Yeah.
and the client just came across and was inquiring. He's like, no, no, I don't want final expense. I was looking into that the IUL thing, and I was like, oh yeah, well I can definitely help you. And so I thoroughly lucked out on that one, and him and his wife both got a policy, and yeah, I the rest is history. Did the illustration, got them all, explained everything, and what's crazy was, when first got the appointment with him, it was just like, okay, I'm not going to sign or do anything today. I just want to see your spill and see what you offer, and
Yep.
then I was able to overcome all of that, and about an hour and a half later, they maybe even two, they both you know got their policies. So, and now they're making a nice, maximum cash value account with Index Universal Life. So yeah, and
Yeah.
then I looked out on that, which was crazy, which led me to a massive, you know, AP and that, which was I was stoked. Like I still get chills. I'm like, this is crazy. Like I made that happen. Just
Yeah.
maybe life is just like, you know what, you ate enough dirt, have some clouds, so
Yeah.
it's time to see the clouds a little bit. So kind of get
Yeah.
that little taste. So that was awesome. So that was
What
cool.
what what do you feel like I think one thing that people might be asking is like, what's the difference between a training like with us, right? With Telesales Mastery inside, you come in, like what's different from that than like the support and training that you got from like your agency, IMO, things like that.
You actually learn something. You actually able to duplicate and implement what you guys teach in the community. And it's like you guys have these calls every week, though I've been missed out on several of them. But nonetheless, they were very helpful, from objection calls to helping you with tonality on your calls, the script, constantly always updating the script to make it more flowy, to make it flow better, to
Yep.
get more comfortable with it, to be able to overcome objections and build that rapport and trust with the clients that your customers that you're dealing with. And so that's what's the difference in with different IMOs. You guys really set the tone. You, Max, you know, Austin, you know, everyone within that community, Christian, Elijah, with all with all you guys, it
Yeah.
just helps a lot that you give us the direction and kind of lead us, to water, and that's all we have to do is drink. And
Yeah.
so,
Yeah.
which is great. I mean, you guys, the way you guys do your training is bar none one of the best that I've ever encountered, and I feel like if anyone is wanting some type of like coaching of that sort in that realm to get better as a producer, as an agent, um, they'd be missing out if they don't end up in this community, because you guys
Yeah.
provide so much value and able to duplicate that into sales, and to taking care of, at the end, taking care of customers and making sure they're taken care of at the end of their days. And I
Yeah.
feel like the
It's
community
important, dude.
is definitely, yeah, so it's definitely um, probably one of the most helpful and best, you know I guess I don't want to call it a course, but like I said, community
Yeah.
that you can be a part of, because you got all the help from everyone that interacts within the community. Um, if you can't find help from someone, someone else will be there to kind of pick up, the slack.
Yeah.
And it's just a great community overall to help with further your success within the insurance sales, especially with
Yeah.
final expense.
I appreciate that, dude, and it's cool to see like people like you that come in and just like absolutely crush it from the get go. But what's crazier is like you're doing it part time, right? Like you're doing it. How
Yeah.
many days do you do this a week?
I dedicate Mondays all day, Wednesdays all day, um, half a day Thursday, and I try to do Fridays. It's a hit or miss, and every once in a while, if I'm able to, I try to spend the weekends with wife and family, and so
Yeah.
sometimes Saturdays. But yeah, I guess if you want to count, I'd say 2.5 days a week. So I'm doing like I'm pretty much doing like 9 to 5, 9 to 6,
Hmm.
Mondays and Wednesdays, and then I try to do like 4 or 5 hours within the week if I can squeeze it in, kind of just hop on, make a few calls here and there. So yeah, which is kind of wild. You just sit there and just sorry, dial your butt off. So So yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, just sometimes you're doing
Well,
100
what
to
like, how are you
150.
able to do this? How are you able to produce, like, what most people produce, like, full-time? How are you able to produce that part-time, having another job, running the marketing? Like, how are you able to do all that?
I think it's just having those hot leads that you produce through Facebook ads, either or TikTok ads or what have you. Because I think the older generation is like on TikTok and Facebook majority of the time, and
Yeah,
so I think though I mean there's hit or misses on all those, right? Sometimes you'll call, they don't pick up, but you just
yeah,
keep on away. Like I have leads that I call immediately that don't answer, but I think majority of them are relatively warm and and easy to sell because you build that rapport, have that nice tonality, be relatable, show some empathy as well,
yeah,
to the customer. I think that's very helpful in like closing deals and making it happen. And um, also, not giving up on leads too. Like
yeah.
I think I caught a lead that was like a month or two old, sold two of them in a day. I was like, holy crap! I was like, you guys are like a month old and never got an answer from any of them. And then they dial on the third or fourth ring. I'm like, okay, wow, this is that's it's pretty cool. Like I was like, it's like I think I've seen a guy on your podcast that he was on there. He's like, never give up on a lead, and I took that to heart. And I was like, you know what? I'm definitely going to call these aged leads, which I think Max calls aged leads like that are 2 weeks old, aged leads now these days,
Yeah,
give or
yeah.
take. But yeah, so yeah, no, and I think that's a big
Well,
part
most
too is not
people would beg to
giving up on
have
leads.
as brand new leads, right? It's like age
Right,
because
of
there's a
course.
lot coming in. And it's funny
Hmm.
because I just got a message from Andrew right before this, and he just closed an $1,800 deal on a month
Saw
old
that.
lead, right? And
Yeah.
it's just one of those things that if you don't give up, if you keep going, if you keep persevering,
Hmm.
there's money in the follow up at the end of the day, right? You just got to get them on the
Yep.
phone. And honestly, like the biggest like one or two maybe objections that you're gonna get is I already got it taken care of and I'm not interested anymore. And if you can get
Hmm.
past that, if you can actually overcome that, and if you can be really confident in your skill sets because you've already put in the work, you've been training on it, that it's just muscle memory at that point. How long did it take you to really start clicking and really start feeling confident on your own to really close these deals yourself?
I think so. What I joined the community like the end of July, I believe, July
Yeah.
28th, which today's the 28th, which marks what, July, August, September. So I've been like 3 months in with you guys.
Yeah, three
Is that
months
right?
in.
July?
Yeah,
That's wild. I mean, sheesh, 3 months and I've already did 60 something thousand in AP. Um, but
wild.
which is yeah, crazy. Would not expect that. But it probably took me, I don't know, with all the training I get from you, Austin, Max, of course, doing the calls, it probably took me probably a good month or so, and a couple calls to Max to really dig into my tonality and how, slow down. You're talking too fast because, you know, Asian genes, right? So we tend to talk
Yep.
a lot faster than we should. So,
Yep.
but and enunciating and all that. So kind of working on my tonality and working on my confidence when it comes to reading the script and knowing the script and just having that confidence and the knowledge of knowing what to say from the script that you learn from the ejections to anything like that. So I think it probably took me to finally get to the answer. It probably took me probably about a month or so, maybe about
Yeah.
I'd say a little over a month to really get like super comfortable to be like, okay, I was like, I did enough of these like coaching calls. Not say I'm not still not coachable. I'm definitely still coachable. Obviously, I
Yep.
never want to stop learning on how to do better. But yeah, I think that helped a lot to gain my confidence and being confident on how to use insurance toolkits, which Austin showed me and you showed me as well, of how to utilize that more fluidly and
Yeah.
efficiently. And of course, stuff with Max on getting the medications
Yeah.
like down to the T and all that, and just following that map you guys give us. So I
Yeah.
think following that map definitely led me to the success where I'm at today, which is insane to me, which is really cool.
Yeah.
Super
I
grateful.
remember on our onboarding call, you were like, I was like, "What's your goal?" And you're like, If I could hit 5K the first month, like I
Right.
think I'd be good." And then 10, and it's like you
All
see
right.
you put in the chat like, "Hey, I did $22,000 in commissions," or whatever it was,
You're right. Yeah.
and your business expenses were like 2,200
20,
maybe.
like
Um,
25, 25, 26. Yeah.
Insane.
Yeah.
And so it's cool
Yeah.
to see like that actually happen and really progress. Was there a moment right before you joined that you're like, I'm nervous, but you had to push yourself over the edge to actually like do it? Because I think like whenever you invest into anything, right? It's scary. It's nerve wracking. You're like, are these people going to just take my money and leave? Are these people going to take my money? Like, what am I actually getting, right? What was your thought process before coming in, and then after the fact, like what surprised you of what you actually got? Was it better? Was it the same as what you're expecting? Talk a little bit about that.
I actually like to, so I don't get disappointed. I go in with low expectations. I'm like, man, this guy's probably gonna scam me. I was like, he has a beautiful face. He's friendly. He's probably like behind that, it's like a freaking mask. I was like, but we'll see. I was like, we got on that Zoom
Yeah.
call, onboarding call. I was like, okay, this guy's legit. He's a real person, obviously, and just
Yeah.
and I knew you were legit too beforehand because I've seen on different YouTube videos of different things that you're speaking at and in your experience, like I said earlier. But yeah, that was my expectations. I always go with low, but I mean, with all that you've provided with, the community, like I keep saying, the school app, tons, tons of information in there. It's like you can, I mean, I've gone through majority of it, but I always refer back to a lot of the stuff. Like, okay, I should do this, this, and this. And it's just a plethora of information that and value that you provide anyone who wants access to the group and wants
Hmm.
access to you know what you guys are doing to help duplicate what you guys have done to produce
Yeah.
successful agents. And I think you exceeded my expectations, definitely. I mean, with you know what what I invested in, I made my money back easy, you know
Yeah.
so
Was there
yeah,
something that
it was definitely.
was go ahead?
No, so for like to me, it was like a no brainer. It was like the money that I invested into joining and getting the education of everything. My first goal was like, okay, I want to make where I'm gonna pay this off plus extra to play with money to play with, and I did that. I mean,
Yeah.
it took a little over a month, but I made it happen. Like
Yeah.
I don't think anyone that wouldn't have this type of stuff, I don't think they could do it, unless they're lucky and just get
Yeah.
tons of sales in like the first day.
Right.
But yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, it's cool to see that. What's something that was hard, like that's been harder to like getting into final expense telesales? You're not seeing these people face to face. You're not even getting these people on Zoom. Most of them are in different states than you're in. What's something like a challenge that you've seen, or something that's been harder than you thought, or maybe like just been challenging that you've had to work through so that you can get to the spot where you're doing a consistent policy, two policies. I mean, on Friday, I think it was like four policies or whenever that was. Just like
yeah, I did
how'd
5.
you overcome those challenges?
So the challenges, it was main challenges for me. I feel like is the most common for myself is building that rapport, right? Building that relationship because
Mhm.
they're in the older demographic. Obviously, it's like they're not very fond with technology. If anything, they have someone helping them, which is always
Right?
nice, right? So,
Yeah.
but thank God the majority that I dealt with, they know how to use enough of technology to get through, these apps. So I think the tough part for me was like building that rapport, like building that trust for them. Says, you know, a lot of these people, a lot of them get scammed by phone calls of
Yeah.
getting their information and things like that. So you got to really build that trust and rapport with them. And I think building off of that, showing empathy, understanding, and not being too pushy on with the salesy type stuff. Don't coming off not coming off as too salesy, just like you want to
Yeah.
buy this or else type rhetoric. But I realize if you build that rapport, have empathy, talk to them, relate to them, get on their level. I have a better luck with them giving me their information when it comes to either banking information or social security. Shoot, I think the longest phone call I had was over an hour and a half. We talked about sports, uh, for grandkids, just different sports that they're taking they're doing. It's just you build like a nice little relationship with them, and after that, like man, go ahead and write them a card right now and send them off. Like thank you
Yeah.
cards. So it's I mean, if you're willing to take that time, pace yourself, talk to them, get to know them a little bit, build that rapport, show some empathy, get on their level. Make them more comfortable to be able to give that personal information to you and trust. um, yeah, that was the most difficult part to overcome. But I
Yeah.
was able to get over that hurdle by doing that, whether it's taking an extra 15, 20 minutes just to talk to them about stuff that's unrelated to insurance, whether it's talking about their
Yeah.
life, sports they're into, or back in my day stories. I had a lot of those.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a lot, but I mean, I enjoy
Yeah.
listening to them, speaking with them, because I'm sure majority of them are relatively lonely. So I think it's nice for them to actually just sit there
Hmm.
and talk to someone.
Yeah.
That's a good aspect. But yeah, so building that
That'll go a
rapport,
long way.
yeah, so building that rapport uh, helped a lot overcome a lot of these different objections that I've got when I first started. Was like, I'm not giving you my bank info. I'm not giving you my social
Yeah.
security.
Yeah.
So I think getting on their level, not be in a rush, take your time, and be thorough, and, and just be on their level,
Yeah.
relate to them.
So
Hmm.
as we wrap up here, right? And this has been awesome. Like it's cool to see your progression up until this point. I know this is just the beginning. I mean, 60K, over 60K in 3 months, right? It's cool. Like I could only imagine what a year is, right? You're on a run rate to do
Right.
$250,000 your very first year in the life insurance space, which is huge, right? But
Yeah.
as we wrap up, what would your biggest advice, like piece of advice, be? Or like let's talk to the person just starting out, or maybe struggling right now. What is a word of encouragement, word of advice that you would give so that they can do 20 to 30K a month just like you?
Don't give up for one. Finish what you started. You know,
Mm,
and find that good community that shows you support, that knows what they're doing. Find someone that's better than you, right? Find someone
mm-hmm.
that you want to be like, that has integrity, and that is a wholesome person, that's not there to just get one over on you. Find a good community or mentor to kind of show you, like you, Johnny, like whether it's with, telesales mastery with Johnny, or whether it's with, I think Duford's another good one, I believe,
Yeah.
from what I've seen. I don't know him personally, but I think just finding a good community that is in the same space as you, headspace, that can show you and teach you. And as long as you're coachable and willing to learn, I think there should be an issue for anyone to not succeed in this. It's just duplication and practice and
Yeah.
being able to be coachable, be able to learn, be able wanting to learn, and wanting to be able to, have that success. Like, how thirsty are you? How hungry are you for that success? What are you willing to do to make that happen for yourself and succeed in this realm? So whether you're just starting, wanting to start out, or been starting out, but you're stuck in the rut, I think if you find yourself a good community and support system that knows more, that are more successful than you, and ask for help. It's like,
Yeah.
hey, how can I become? How can I get in the position that you're in?
Yeah,
So
that's
that'll be
huge,
my
man. Well,
advice.
I appreciate you hopping on here, man. I know a ton of agents are gonna see and get a lot of value from this, and it's just the beginning of your story, brother. And I'm excited to a year from now, right, to get you back on and see where you're at a year from now. So appreciate you guys
Yeah, man.
watching till the end of this video. If you absolutely loved it, drop in the comments down below. Show Matt some love in the comments down below, and subscribe right now to the channel. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.